Okay guys, welcome to another video that I'm preparing. This time it was a very opportune moment when Mr. Zamirul called and asked for some assistance with regards to a particular effect that he was trying to do, and the effect in question is called a Chroma Key. So I thought I'd take this opportunity to introduce you to Premiere Pro very quickly and learn how to set up a project. Okay, all right, so the first thing you want to do is you want to right click on the video file and go to the properties portion, and then go to details, and inside here you will find some very important information which you will need in setting up of your video project. Now if you look at the frame width and frame height over here, that tells me straight away that the size of the frame. Okay, so this is a HD format video. The width of the frame is 1280 pixels by 720 pixels. Let me move the mouse away. Okay, your data rate is irrelevant at this moment in time. Okay, once you start getting a little bit more advanced, then you will start to learn how to read data rates and learn about CBR and VBR encoding, which is at a later point. This one here is particularly important, frame rate. Now, judging from the clip that Mr. Zamirul gave me, it shows 19 frames per second. Now that tells me straight away that his video was probably recorded using his handphone, because only handphones change the frame rate to suit the compression. Okay, if you were shooting with a DSLR, you will have either 25, 30, 50 or 60 frames per second. Okay, if you don't understand what these frames per second mean, let me know. I'll explain it to you at a later date. Okay, this one is also important down here under the audio portion. You should see bitrate, channels and audio samples. Okay, now if you don't see any information here at all, that means the video has no sound. So do not panic. All right, always come here, always check, because this is the starting point of your Premiere Pro project. All right, now let us launch Premiere Pro, and I am using Premiere Pro CC 2017. The reason for that is because a customer of mine gave me a project in this format and I have to follow suit. Okay, if you don't have Premiere Pro CC, you can use CS6, but the concepts are basically the same. Okay, so let's start. File, new, project. All right, I don't really need to explain a lot of these things, but I'm just going to go through some very quick explanations for you. If you have a graphics card on your computer, be it a laptop or a desktop, and that graphics card is of high quality, it will allow you to enable the Mercury playback engine. Okay, now if you do not have this, you can always disable it or specify software only. And what this does is actually speed up your playback of your computer. All right, if you don't have this function, your computer will be pretty slow. It's not wrong, it's just that it's going to be really darn slow lah. Okay, the second thing you can do to make your project quite efficient is to make sure that your project location, in this case it's C drive, okay, make sure that that location is not on your C drive. Okay, that's the first mistake that everybody makes. If you put this on the C drive, you are going to slow down your computer. So in this case, I'm going to leave it there, but for you, you click browse and go and find some space elsewhere. Just make sure it's not on your C drive. All right. The next is scratch disks. Now, a scratch disk is a temporary space that Premiere Pro uses to process videos. Okay. Again, if you look in this, all my scratch disks are set to C drive. That is wrong. You need to specify a very specific space somewhere else. Okay, and preferably this space should be on a really, really fast hard disk or an SSD drive. Okay, for this exercise, I'm just going to leave it as it is because it's a very small project. But if you have a big project with a very long timeline, I recommend you find another space. All right, let's move on. Yes. Okay. Even on a fast machine like mine, you will find that the startup time is quite slow. Okay, so let's look at this timeline. Let's look at this place, all right? If you look at the bottom here, this is where we normally start, okay? Under the project folder or the media folder. Now, all of the Adobe products, Adobe Photoshop, InDesign and all that have a very similar structure. There is always a place to start importing or opening files. Now, I'm going to start off by bringing in Mr.Zamirul's video by right-clicking, and I recommend you guys start experimenting with the right-click function, yeah? The majority of the controls that you need are available when you right-click, okay? You don't really need to go up here and click all these menu functions anymore. Just right-click on the file or on the folder, click on Import, and then go and look for the file. There we go. That's that handsome gentleman over there, and I'm going to click Open. All right. Now, if the project setting is the same size as the original file, you will not get a prompt. But if it is not the same, if let's say my project is 1920 by 1080 pixels and the video is a different format, it will tell you, do you want to change? It will ask you, sorry, do you want to change the project settings? And the answer is yes. Okay. What Premiere is going to do is it's going to change all the settings to match the very first clip you import into Premiere Pro. Now let me explain why this is important. If your first clip is 19 frames per second and every subsequent clip you import is 25, 30 or 50 frames per second, Premiere Pro is going to attempt to convert those clips to 19. Now, you may not understand the consequence, but let me explain what is happening now. Premiere Pro will have to process the video every time you play it. So can you imagine that you're editing a video and at the same time, Premiere Pro has to convert the video from 25 to 19, 25 to 19. Imagine if you have 100 clips in your timeline. That's right, folks. You are going to suffer from the ultimate slowdown. Okay, so this is the very first thing that you can do to make your project efficient. Make sure all your clips are the same specifications. Frame size, frame rate, FPS, okay? And if possible, make all of them the same file type. All right, some of you will import MPEG-4, some of you will import MOV. Yeah, that's a boo-boo. Try to make all your files the same. Now, this is not a problem if you are shooting a production with Canon cameras. Let's say you have 2 Canon cameras, you're going to have 2 MOV files. But if you're shooting with a Fuji, if you're shooting with Canon, if you're shooting with Nikon, you could end up with multiple different formats. Again, not wrong, but if you put them in the timeline, Premiere Pro will have to convert on the fly. And you're going to experience slowing down once again. Okay? As you are probably beginning to realize, Premiere Pro is not simple. All right. In fact, video editing is not simple. It's one of the hardest things that you can do to a computer. Okay. So if you get it wrong in any one of these stages, your computer will slow down. Okay. If you have lost me, I recommend you rewind this part of the video and listen to it again. Okay. For now, I'm going to begin with the edit. So what I'm going to do next is drag this handsome gentleman onto the timeline and leave it there. And straight away, you can see the handsome man talking. And there are 2 layers here. The top layer is the video layer, and the bottom is the audio. Notice V stands for video, A stands for audio. So I can click this, drag it up and down to move it wherever I want. Okay? If I move the video layer to the top, the audio stays where it is. If I move the audio to the bottom, the video stays where it is. All right? But if you move it left and right, they follow suit. This, ladies and gentlemen, is called a synchronized video clip. Otherwise, synced. S-Y-N-C-E-D. From now on, when you hear the word synced video, this is basically what it means. Now, what happens if the video is unsynced? What happens if the audio file and the video file is not connected? Well, you're going to get Mr. Zamirul talking and the words are not going to match his mouth. Okay, so make sure you have a synced video. If you do this, the video file moves and the audio file moves, you have done something wrong in the import process. Delete the file, start again. Okay? Okay, so Mr. Zamirul, this lesson is for you now. Now, bila I import file ni, I letak dia on layer 2. Nampak tak? Layer 2 kat sini ya. Now, the reason I put it on layer 2 is because I am trying to remove the hijau ni. Okay? By the way, hijau ni shooting technique dia silap sikit. I will explain in a while how to get a really good chroma key. Alright? But first things first, I want to explain the concept of chroma key. So, chroma key dia senang je. I'm going to delete the green. And whatever is underneath this video will be displayed. Now, let me see what other things I can do to put on the video under there. Do I have anything here that is interesting? I have a letterhead in Photoshop format. Letterhead pun jadilah. Tengok ada gambar ke? Windows based screen. Let's try that out and see. Merge all layers. Okay. Don't worry if you didn't get all this. I'm just going to put this underneath. Okay. Now, if you notice, I'm making the length of this bottom video the same as the top. Okay. And if you want to know what it is, it's just a simple graphic with some shortcuts that I made for my server the last time. Okay. All right. So that's underneath right now. Unfortunately, you can't see it because the green screen is still there. So now I need to remove the green screen. To do that, you go to the effects panel, go to the video effects, and look for keying. See here? Keying. The word keying refers to the process of removing something. Okay? In this case, I want to remove color. So I am going to look for something that says color key, chroma key, or whatever. In this case, I am going to use ultra key. Okay? If your computer system doesn't have ultra key, you can use any other key. Experiment with it. Okay? So I'm going to use ultra key. I'm going to drag it to the video, Mr. Zamirul's video. Okay? Nothing is happening. Hang on. We've got to do more stuff now. Now, this thing has a filter stuck on it. This is called a filter, by the way. Okay? I'm putting a filter on this. I now need to control that filter. To control it, you need to go up here. That is the effects control section. See that? Click it. And now you have multiple options over here. Now, I'm not going to attempt to explain every single function. All right, that will be a video of another day. By the way, chroma keying process is complex as hell. Okay, it is one of the fundamental concepts of special effects. All right, so there are literally 20, 30, 40 hour long video courses out there that will explain this to you. All right, I'll do this in another day. Now, the first thing we want to do is we want to tell the computer, listen, mate, I need you to remove the green. So I'm going to click this little picker here, and I'm going to choose a green that looks pretty standardized. Now, in this scenario, Mr. Zamirul put the video light to his right over here. And what happened here is this part of the screen became brighter, this part of the screen became darker, and he cast a big shadow on himself. Now, if you were the computer, I would look at this and say that I've got multiple shades of green right now. This is one shade over here, this is one shade, and this is another shade. Okay? So, worst case scenario, if I want to do a good chroma pool, I am going to need to apply this ultra key filter 3 times. Okay, but let's try and do it once with some tweaking. So I'm going to click here, and straight away I have not a bad pool. Okay, let us go to matte generation and tweak the transparency, and you are getting better. Tweak the highlights. Okay, getting better again. Tweak the shadow. Yep, that's not too much. Okay. By the way, guys, in order to see whether you're having a really good chroma pool, you can go to this setting here in output. See this output? Change this to alpha channel. and it will show you what you are removing. Now, I want Mr. Zamirul to be white, not gray like this, not tonal like this, okay? He has to be solid white, something like that, okay? All right. Done. You can see that we are having a little bit of problems, okay, because of his lighting. Okay, you can try as much as you want, try as many effects as you want, and you will soon realize that, yeah, sometimes it cannot be saved. Okay, in this case it looks not bad, to be honest. Let's play it and see.
Dalam sistem pentadbiran Malaysia ataupun dalam
unfortunately, if you look at his hair has disappeared a bit.
Struktur pentadbiran di Malaysia terdapat 3 badan utama.
Right. Now this would be a better video.
Iaitu
I have a clean outline. Let me show you the alpha channel.
Badan perundangan, badan eksekutif dan badan kehakiman.
Alright, so look at his body. Look at the body parts over here. Pretty nice, pretty clean. Unfortunately, we've also got this part here and this part here, which the software, or rather the filter, is not catching. So now what we're going to do is we are now going to apply another ultra key to the same video. And if you look carefully, you will see that there are 2 ultra keys now. The first ultra key is removing this green over here. The second ultra key, I'm going to set it to remove this green over here. Again, we can mine, okay? You have to set this to alpha channel and then go to matte generation and then you tweak it until it disappears. Okay, there we go, getting better. Okay, by the way, I am not looking at his body anymore. I am looking at the other areas now. All right, I'm going to apply a choke. Let's see whether that helps in that respect. Blah, 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 blah. How about this? Oh, that's bad. It's getting worse. Oh, no. That's bad. Okay, look at that. That's absolutely horrendous. Okay, how about we try this out? How about I move the bottom ultra key on top? See what's happening? It is affecting the bottom ultra key. All right, so let me explain the concept. The result of this process, the top key, is sent to the second key, and the third key, and the fourth key, and the fifth key. In other words, you need to start thinking in terms of subtraction mode. Okay, I know it's a bit abstract for you right now. Let us try to disable the first key. All right, when I click this button over here, I'm turning off the bottom key. Yeah, I'm just leaving the top key right now. So if you look very carefully, you will see that, yeah, we have a problem. All right, I'm just going to delete this. You will see that there are greens over here that are just not being deleted. Okay, you can of course play with all of these settings and try to get as best you can. All right, unfortunately, I'm going to be honest with you and tell you that I think it's going to be a problem. I think it's not going to be 100% processable. Processable? Calculable. All right. Okay, so let us enable the second one and then adjust it again accordingly. All right. If you want to reset everything, you can just press this button. It will reset. You can click this and then click on another green. Yeah, look at that. That looks better. Let us try playing with the matte generation again. Nope, it's cutting him. Try highlight. Yeah, not bad. And voila. Tuan-tuan dan puan-puan sekalian,
pentadbiran di Malaysia,
we have pulled
3 badan utama, iaitu badan perundangan,
a semi-successful key. Now, to test out our key, we usually, or rather I will usually put a contrasting image underneath. Okay, and to do that, you can go back to your project, right click, new item, and you can create something called bars and tone, black video, color matte, whatever you want. I'm going to choose color matte, and I'm going to just leave this whatever it is, and I'm going to select a contrasting color. In this case, I'm going to choose something that is really, really ugly, like green. Of course, give it a proper name so that you don't get confused. Then I'm going to drag the green, put it underneath, and I'm going to see whether we have cropped out. Oh no, look at that. Big boo-boo. Hang on. Let's try to tweak it again. Let's see how this works. Getting there, it's getting there. There you go, not bad at all. Let's choke it again. No, the choke is no good. Pedestal also no good. All right. Okay, you know what, guys? I think I'm going to add another key. Why not? Let's put Ultra key again. Okay, this time I'm going to select the third green. And this time I'm going to tweak it a bit more. Oh no. Oh no, it's not working. It's not working. Oh no. It's going to fail. Yeah, that's no good. I'm going to select another green. And I'm going to try again. Oh, totally disappeared. Come on. Just a bit more. Just a bit. Just a bit. All right, so as you can tell, guys, this process is time-consuming and a real pain in the bum. Okay? To be honest with you, all right, I don't really do Chroma Key in Premiere Pro. I do Chroma Key in Fusion, in Nuke, and a lot of other professional programs. The reason for that is because those programs are a lot better at pulling a key, okay? But I'll be honest, okay? Usually in situations like this, all right, where the lighting is quite drastic, okay? I hate to say this, but I usually shoot this whole thing again, okay? But, Mr. Zamirul, if you have time and you want to try this out, you could spend the better part of tonight playing with all of these key settings, adding additional key. Just remember that each effect that you apply, you can only select one kind of green. Okay? There is no such thing as one filter, tolak semua. Alright? There is a limit. Okay? And I'll be honest,
Pada ini mereka mempunyai peranan.
if you make the background black, it looks half decent. If you make the background bright, macam ni, you can see that there's a little bit of a green cast or a green shadow. So here's the quick solution. I recommend that if you are making some background graphic, okay, make the background graphic a little bit darker. Okay? Chances are, if you make the background graphic darker, you may not see this extra shadow macam ni. Alright? But before you do that, again, like I said, I recommend you select, adjust, and you'll be surprised that you sometimes can create some pretty interesting effects.
Struktur pentadbiran di
This is a bit too abstract lah, okay? But yeah, go ahead and try. Now, what if you adjust and you totally screw up and you totally don't know what you have done and you don't like it? Please just press the reset button. Okay? If you don't like this effect, do not delete the effect, just disable it over here. Alright? Now the reason for that is because later on you can come back and activate it again just in case. Okay, guys? Alright. So before I leave you, I would really recommend that you take your time and play with this. I will also recommend that you do your best that you can with one effect first. Okay? Play with it until you get pretty much what you like. Okay? Now, maybe green is not the right color. Maybe I'll change it to something that is totally, yeah, maybe gold. gold's all right. Okay, now you can see that, you know, the gold is affecting it's not coming through. So let's tweak it. You know what, Mr. Zamirul? I think we did it. I think that looks pretty believable.
Malaysia terdapat 3 badan utama.
Okay, hang on. If you look carefully, you can see the edge of your body here. You've got a little bit of dithering. That one you can play with the soften function here. See the matte cleanup? You can make it softer, and you can also play with the tolerance. All right. Now, guys, I know this is a lot of information in a very short period of time, and I'm not going to bother you with all the technicalities of what choke, soften, contrast, and midpoint are. That is a boring lesson. But I would advise you to play, experience, get used to all of these things, and if you do this often enough, you will begin to understand what it does. All right? Always ask the question, why? Don't ask how. All right? You know how. You know how to apply your effect. Now you need to ask yourself, why am I playing with transparency? What does the transparency do? Okay? Highlight. How does it help me? See that? Shadow. What happens to the shadow? Okay. Boom. That looks better. Tolerance. Tolerance, yes, okay. Pedestal. Oh, pedestal makes it brighter. All right. Choke. Yeah, choke is cropping. See, it's cropping his badan sikit. All right. Soften. Softens the edges a bit. And so on and so forth. There we go. Look at that. Much better. Let's play.
Pentadbiran Malaysia ataupun dalam struktur pentadbiran di Malaysia terdapat 3 badan utama.
And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Pretty good ultra key, just one. All right. If you're happy with that, go ahead. If you're not, and let's say you've tweaked it and played with it for a couple of hours and nothing has changed, then feel free to add a second one and then try again. Remember, the second key must select a different green. Okay? Do not select a gray or something like that. Select a different green. Okay, guys? Now, once you are done, please mark in, press I, mark in, mark out, and then send this file out as another file. Okay? Now, you can actually specify, you go to File, and then you can go to Export, and then you can go and specify whatever format. You can specify media, and then you can specify all of these settings over here. Looking at this, you will be kelam kabut. So let me explain the simplest thing that you can do. Under file format, always pilih MOV. Mana dia MOV? QuickTime. Tengok ni QuickTime. Alright, pilih QuickTime. And then under your preset, you need to specify HD. Tak ada HD pula. Ding dong. Let me see. Yep, no HD. Let's change another one. Choose MPEG 4. This one. H264. Alright. Cukup banyak ni. You can Android tablet, Apple TV. Make sure that it is the same size as your original. Your original is 1280 by 720. So you got to find the 720 setting. Mana dia? That's 360. That's 800 by 600. 12024. You know what? Just select match source high bit rate. Bagi dia pilih. Now to double check that the settings are the same, look at this number here. 1280 by 720. Look at the frame rate. 23.97. Unfortunately, Premiere Pro doesn't handle 19 frames very well. It always reverts to what it knows. 24 frames, 23.97, which is called a drop frame, 30 frames, 60 frames, 50 frames, 25. Don't worry. Just let it be. Okay? And then you click Q, and then you can click export, and it will export the file. All right. I know, guys, it sounds a little bit rushed, and quite frankly, it is. But if you have a little bit of experience in Premiere Pro, chances are you will be able to follow this. If you play this video again, rewind this video again, it will come to you. Okay, do stay tuned for a more detailed introduction to Premiere Pro, where I go into the nitty-gritty of video editing and production and how to make your entire system run
Rajah ni dia menunjukkan dalam
as smoothly as mine. Okay guys, thank you very much and have a great day.